Meanwhile, I'm literally begging Disney to give me something that I can cover positively. And I was joking behind the scenes with Culture Casino about this. We've had calls that on the Pro Channel, we need to cover more positive stuff for Disney. And I'm like, okay, here's what I have. They are upgrading the Country Bears animatronics with servos that are modern. Now, how many viewers can I get for a video on that? Because that's how far down the barrel I have to scrape to find something positive to say about the Walt Disney Company nowadays.
Well, that's just it, right? And going back here to Comcast, like I said, their numbers are, they're for what they're doing has also been very, very good. I mean, substantially ahead of Disney in so many different metrics right now. And it's, again, this is their end of fiscal 2023 because their calendar year and Netflix's calendar year is also the fiscal year, whereas Disney's fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th the following year. So it's different than a calendar year. So that's why we are now comparing the numbers, the final end of year numbers that we got on the November earnings call for Disney. Those are the numbers that we're comparing to Comcast and Netflix that were just reported this week, because I'm going, apples to apples. All three companies, fiscal year 23. They just happen to be measured at different points on the calendar. But I want to try to line those up as best we can, and we'll adjust once we get Disney's first fiscal quarter, fourth calendar quarter. That's coming up February 7th.
Valiant, let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. You're probably the best guy to tell me the answer to this. When I look at what is happening with the theme parks, and I see that Disney buying Hulu is essentially funding Universal building theme park after theme park all over the world. I mean, it is incredible the number of theme parks, entire theme parks they're building, and that's not all. They're expanding. We're talking about Zelda. We're talking about Mario, Harry Potter, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek's house is coming, Pokemon is coming to the Universal Orlando. I mean, it's insane. And my question to you, Valiant, is never in my wildest dreams, never, ever, ever did I think, even as nutso as the people are at Disney, I never sat there and thought Disney will cede the top spot by far without any fight at all. There's no fight in the company. Disney is not doing anything to counter, and Universal is going to be the number one theme park company in the world in 2 years.
Oh, come on, Pro. Now, look, I had this story queued up. Certainly they're going to be doing something, right? If y'all didn't catch this, let's talk about what they're doing. Disney is going to invest a $1.9 billion CapEx into Disneyland.
How long, Valiant? How long, though?
I think it's, let's see. It's going to be between now and 2064.
Now, let me just see how much. What does that divide out into, Valiant?
About $1 a year.
There you go. And for those wondering out there, how much does a theme park cost to build? About $6 billion for a theme park.
Yeah.
And so this is Disney's big push is, hey, we're going to spend $2 billion, baby. And then in the fine print, over the next 4 decades.
Yeah, 4 decades.
They got nothing.
Here's the thing. They announced a $60 billion CapEx in theme parks, quote-unquote theme parks, a few months ago.
Turbocharged.
60 billion. This is not even $2 billion. Oh, and that was over a 10-year spend. What did we tell you? It was all going to be international. It was going to be more Disney lines. Vacation Club. Yeah, cruise lines.
DVC.
Disney Vacation Club, timeshares, which is DVC. More hotels, all in the international locations.
And Universal is destroying them because of this nonsense. Because when they put out these stupid press releases with these headlines, they're not real. And it doesn't matter if you put out these press releases that are nonsense. Like when they released the concept art, and then the next year they released more concept art, and it's the same concept art, except they switched it over to a new park because none of it's real. When you look at this, like, reality doesn't bend to the press releases that Disney puts out. No. And Universal is eating their lunch.
We are in 2024. What do you think, Andre? Will 2024 be the year that maybe Wall Street finally wakes up when they start seeing the stuff coming from Universal and looking?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have Nelson Peltz there who are actively waking them up in case they weren't seeing things already, but they really should by now. But in their credit though, because Wall Street has a lot of things to pay attention to, and they don't pay attention to the minutia of Disney. I mean, those of us here, we can see that everything is going to hell for them. We can see that it was coming years ago,
Yeah.
just in their decline in quality and the content. We knew that there was no way that they could maintain the success that they had in 2019 with the content that they were producing to be released from 2020 onwards. So we saw this coming. Whereas Wall Street didn't see that coming. They only see the quarterly results. They don't pay too much attention to everything. That's too much to pay attention to. They're going to listen to Bob Iger. He's one of the good guys. He's one of them and everything. So they trust and they don't verify until they see that, oh shit, this ain't working anymore. But now when you had several years where things go down the drain, and what happened last year, 2023, that was the year that Marvel broke, where Marvel was beaten both by a Barbie movie and by multiple video game adaptations. They all beat Marvel, both in streaming and on the big screen. They had flop after flop after flop. This is the kind of thing that that Wall Street can no longer ignore, especially when you have someone like Nelson Peltz, who is one of them, who is now loudly screaming that this ain't working, and who is doing a proxy fight. I mean, this is very quickly becoming Eisner 2.0, only worse.
Agreed. They haven't figured out the equation on stagnation versus conservatism. And I think conservatism is extremely important for Disney, especially because you have these legacy stories that need to be conserved, right? I mean, look at what happened with Splash Mountain.
It's weird.
Weird. Splash Mountain's gone, weird. You know, the difference between the stagnation and the conservatism is the thing that they haven't been able to figure out yet. And I think if they just sat down and they figured out that if we actually pay homage and respect and love to the stories that got us where we are, while also creating new stories that people care about, it's a winning formula. But the problem is they're remaining stagnant in the fact that they want to take those things and change those IPs. They want to change them to this new modern audience, and it's just not landing, and they continue to beat it over the head over and over and over and over again. And yeah, I think we've gotten to a point where, to your, Andrea, like you were saying, people are noticing. Checkbooks are a little light. People are looking at the numbers and sharpening their pencils and going, this is not working.
I at least thought that they would put up a fight when we're here now. They're not even in second place. They're not even a second tier company anymore in this space. They're third tier. And then the theme parks. They're not, like, people would rather go to Universal now than Disney. And it's going to get far worse next year. And they didn't even put up a fight to stop it. They didn't do anything to stop it. They literally rolled over and said, punch us right in the gut. Please, we'll take it. It's all worth it for our stupid agenda.
They invited Vince McMahon over to... Never mind.
Oh, boy.
All right, so... and you know what? Let me tell you, we're not going to play this right now, and especially with the music that it starts with.
Oh, not the McMahon clip. Please don't play it.
No.
Okay.
No, but this is coming. I got to turn the sound off because we will definitely get struck. This is Disney's latest problem that's coming this summer. When Despicable Me 4 drops, we're going to have yet another movie that's probably going to do close to $1 billion. It's not going to be named Disney. Just like we had before with Minions Rise of Gru. The trailer just dropped for Despicable Me 4 3 hours ago.
It's blown out. This is so blown out. Despicable Me is so blown out. And guess what? People are still going to go in droves to watch this because they know what they're getting.
Right. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.